On Abuja Today, showing on AGTV, we take you to Abaji Area Council, taking a look at the FCT Area Council's elections slated for February 2026. Biliaminu Sokodabo emerged the flag bearer of the PDP in the forthcoming election, that is, in Abaji Area Council, and we shall be taking a look at what is on ground with and for him ahead of the election. My name is Jethro Ilya. Welcome to Abuja Today. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updates on our programs. Come with me as I speak with Honorable Biliaminu Sokodabo, the flag bearer of the PDP in Abaji Area Council come 2026. Still on the program Abuja Today, we are with the flag bearer of the PDP in Abaji Area Council ahead of the FCT Council election 2026 in person of Honorable Biliaminu Sokodabo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jethro Ilya. You're welcome and thank you for having me.
Thank you. No. Today we're in Abaji with you to talk about what you have in stock for the people of Abaji Area Council. Tell us what inspired this move to contest for the chairmanship seat of Abaji Area Council.
A very good question, an interesting question actually. Abaji, like in my previous interview, I told people that, or I told Nigerians that we are suffering from leadership failure. So it is in view of this failure in leadership and the class of leaders that we have allowed to take charge of affairs that prompted some of us who are actually from the other side to say, yes, I think it's high time we step in, because in leadership most times we're in governance. If you don't come up to showcase the talent, God's given talent in you, you allow any kind of people to take charge, and of course they would lead and ridicule the society.
When you say any kind of people, this refers to either past and present leadership of Abaji.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that too good to say?
Yes,
to refer to your leaders as any.
In as far as we are concerned, we have had leaders that have zero performance.
Yet people clap for them.
They did, of course. That's the politics. Because where people go out there to milk the sacred cow, of course, whether or not they are living within the confine of their manifestos, you see people coming to say, oh, you are doing well because of the little tokens they are taking from them.
Okay, this is Abaji we're talking about today.
Sure.
And the election 2026 is a couple of months ahead. Now, you are the flag bearer of the PDP. Before now, Abaji has been a home for the PDP. Eventually, around 2015 or thereabout, PDP lost Abaji. What will you attribute this loss to, and what do you think need to be done differently for the party PDP to taking over Abaji Area Council?
I will take you back, a little, through the, history lane. PDP, Abaji has been the home of PDP. PDP in Abaji won election in 1999, through that was my uncle, through to 2004 precisely. PDP led for about 5 years. Okay. And Alaja Loco's administration was between 2004 to 2007. Under the leadership of what do you call that party? Is it AMPP? AMPP, I think. And after that, PDP took over again.
Okay.
2007 till 2014 or 15 precisely.
Yes, 14, yes. 15, 16.
No, that leadership of Alaji Musa, Mohammed.
Okay, that was 2014.
Yes, 2007 till 2010, because he had 2 years administrations running, 2 tenure running.
Okay.
And after him, there was another PDP government again, under the leadership of Yaya Garba.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he also came and he did what he did And Abaji took over from him. I think that was around 2000 and, is it 15 or 16? Precisely, 2016.
Yes.
So Abaji took over, also had 2 tenure running concurrently.
That's in APC.
In APC. Abaji took over in APC and he had 2 tenures running. Okay. So in these 2 tenure, like I told you, the performance, as far as I'm concerned, the assessment. Although most times we look at the area of, human capital development, we look at the infrastructures, we look at what government has put in place differently. We will say, well, the performance, they did what they did because some of these allocations,
yes,
released or disbursed to local government were not,
nothing to write home about.
That is what we're trying to say, because they don't actually commiserate with the, with the programs and the, structures on ground.
Does that mean that the allocations were poor?
No, there were times allocations were poor, but most times allocations are good. But what we have come to realize is these people that championing the cause of the community are actually not saving for the rainy days. We have a very huge problem right now
in Abaji. Now, I would like to ask you, what is that challenge that is peculiar to Abaji?
That what?
The challenge you see.
That is what we are saying. The peculiar challenge is Abaji, the leaders that Abaji has provided will produce over time.
So far.
Over time. Have not been able to address the issue of, human capital development.
Is that the peculiar challenge?
That is the peculiar challenge in Abaji.
Is that peculiar only to Abaji or
I don't know of the other area councils, but Abaji has been in as far as we are concerned in the history of FCT.
Yes.
Abaji is this area council that has produced elite over time.
Yes.
Because I will remember very well those days when Abaji would determine who becomes the chairman here, and also determine who becomes chairman in other sister area councils. Abaji, the elite from Abaji those days.
Okay.
But with the passage of time, the whole thing.
Would you say the quality has been watered down?
It has been watered completely down, because in Abaji now we don't have leaders. I'm telling you, there are no leaders in Abaji.
That is a very huge allegation.
That is it. And we'll talk to that. I'll speak to that.
Okay.
There are no leaders in the sense in Abaji today. There's not one single person in Abaji that says this is the direction, and the Abajians will follow. Yes, and Abajians will listen.
Okay.
But
not the right of the others.
Who listens to him? Who has he developed? Who has he developed in his own capacity? When he served, I don't want to, we shouldn't even digress into those issues, because there are questions he need to answer.
They have not been invited by any established government agency.
You see, with the reason why we don't petition our brothers, we don't petition them, and that is why everybody is that. That is what we are saying, and that is why everybody is misbehaving. But by the time we are now coming to point at each other, look, you are not doing well in your own time, or you have not done well in your own time. So nemesis should catch up with you. At that time, or at that level, you see that any leader also produce will begin to behave themselves. And these are part of the reasons why we say, okay, if it is youth o'clock, then we have tested one youth who is the incumbent right now, and is doing very, very poor. The performance is nothing to write.
Allegedly by you.
Not by me. If you go around Abaji and ask questions, people of intellect like me, people who know what they are doing, and people who know the amount of resources that has been disbursed to Abaji will confirm what I'm telling you. The performance of this administration is nothing to write home about.
As that, will you say that inspired your
part of the reason why the Abajians decided, look, you are doing very well where you are. So leave whatever thing you are doing and come and contest Abaji. Because yes, we want to entrust Abaji in your hand, so that you are going to rewrite those wrongs that the past leaders have written. So you can set the record straight. So that is why we are here.
All right, you've talked about infrastructure, which
Yes.
human capital development,
Yes.
which shows that if you are given the mandate as Abaji chairman today or tomorrow, your administration will focuses more on human capital development.
Sure, sure.
Now, let's talk about the infrastructural development of Abaji area council. How will you assess it currently today?
Currently, there is no infrastructure. We are aware from analysis that Abaji has gotten a humongous amount of money through allocations. Abaji alone, within the span of 3 years, has gotten well over 20 billion. You cannot go around Abaji and lay finger to a particular project worth 1 billion, even 500 million. In Abaji area council, everywhere, both in township and the countryside. You cannot lay claim to a 500 million project.
But a large population of Abaji seems to sing the praise of the current chairman, applauding him for doing very well, and that also reflected when he was unanimously affirmed to be the Flagbearer of the party APC.
You see, that is pure politics, and in politics is what we call a crowd renting.
Okay.
A crowd renting.
Are you accusing him or the party?
It is not an accusation. We know how crowd was rented and even put together, patched together and say, look, this is not an allegation. No, this is what was done in Abaji.
Okay.
It was done in Abaji. We are eyewitnesses.
Okay.
People from different communities coming to show solidarity to leaders that are not doing well in their communities.
But does that not speak volume if people could leave their villages to come to Abaji?
We call it crowd renting. When you tell people who are jobless, look, come and show some couple of, let us use you for some hours, and this is what you are taking home. Of course, people will come.
That's a very huge accusation.
This is not an accusation. When politics, you see, this is a political era.
All right, let's focus more on the subject matter, talking about the infrastructure.
Yes.
Of Abaji area council. Abaji, so many persons have described Abaji as the least developed area council.
And that is why we have been least developed, because the leaders are not doing well. That is what we are saying.
Now, but you ask, and you are told that by the virtue of the terrain being the gateway to the FCT.
So is that reason enough
for the residential area, not the commercial hub?
Is that the reason why? And can they transform it? The leaders were
what are the ways you think can be followed to transforming Abaji to a commercially viable place?
Number one is a common thing all Abajians have clamored for. They have all clamored for it. Fixed electricity in Abaji.
Okay.
We have electricity problem
in Abaji.
Is
it in Abaji town or Abaji area council?
Abaji area council as a whole, we have electricity problem.
Okay.
So any leader that is coming to the fore, what we have told them always is fix it.
Electricity.
Fix electricity first. Once you do that, then other things will follow. All other factors of production will also follow. And before you know, people will be very busy. You would have created an enabling economic environment for popular participation. But this is what leaders have failed to do.
But don't you think electricity challenge is a peculiar challenge almost everywhere?
You can do it differently. You can do it differently. We have asked questions. We are not saying provide electricity to Nigeria. He is not Nigerian president.
Okay.
This is a chairman. You are people's representative. If we begin to ask questions where and what you have used our allocations for, you cannot respond to them.
But when we say that electricity is a national challenge, if the federal government has not been able to address that, how much or how less of a council chairman?
You see,
now I'll ask you, how best do you think this? What are the approaches in addressing this?
You see, the power providers have met with different leaders, because we have interfaced with them. We have interacted with them many times.
Okay.
They have also interfaced with these leaders, this chairman. I don't want to use bad phrases in qualifying them.
Yes.
So this chairman, they have interfaced with them. The only one that has tried in recent time, according to them, is even Abaji.
Okay.
The present House of Rep member.
Okay.
Who has made several attempts to make sure that there is a step down in Abaji.
And what has hindered that step down?
Of course, it's a process thing. He's a processing, and he was on that course when his tenure elapsed. So he couldn't have continued to pursue what he has no power to pursue. Now we have another chairman.
Why is
the chairman is? Let me finish. The chairman is supposed to have continued with the policy because APC government.
Yes.
So the chairman should have continued with the policy that his predecessor was handling. Now, if the predecessor was saying at that time there was no money for them to facilitate, with the Federal Ministry of Power to facilitate a step down in Abaji and all that. Now there's money. Now there's money because this chairman cannot tell us there's no money. We have read through history. We have read through record. Within the span of 3 years, like I told you, over 20 billion naira was disbursed to Abaji. How much is Abaji's salary?
If you ask him, he will tell you that he has done either roads or he has built.
Where is the road? Where are the clinics? In the first place, let me finish, Mr. JT. These are, politically captured areas. You see, if you are not in Abaji, you may not understand what we are passing through and what we are going through in Abaji. We are here with our people. We know the community problem. We have clinics. If it were clinics, somebody came and said he was building a hospital, he was constructing a hospital, about 80-bed capacity hospital.
Yes, for the women and the child and mother hospital.
That is what they call it. But the problem, do we need hospital in Abaji right now?
Is that not a very
Look, there are clinics and general hospitals that does not have equipment. So is it the structure that would, assess people's health and treat them accordingly, or it is the equipment, the machine that you also provide, and the number of manpower to look after those patients? So we don't need that structure as it were. That is why
it's being built by the area council.
We are not even sure because some people say it's PPP, public-private partnership.
That means the council has a part.
Of course, but you cannot lay claim to a project that is PPP.
Okay, that aside. Now we've talked about human capital development, about infrastructure.
Sure.
Now, what better ways do you think, if you are elected as Abaji chairman, you will address human capital development, you will address infrastructure and other areas you think Abaji is left behind?
This is a very good question because these are the kind of questions I want to address. You see, in any governance, system of governance, if you actually want to lead well, you need to interact with your people. There are community leaders. There are people that also know the problem of the community just as you know. You need to create, a platform of engagement. Discuss with people. We call it community town hall meeting. We call it town hall meeting. You need to interface with the people in which you are governing, ask them know their problem, and use their resources to solve their problems. You don't use people's resources, within your own, within your control, through your whims and caprices. You don't do that. That is, you are living democracy entirely. You are now practicing a different system of governance within your local government. So this is exactly what we are saying. You want to address people's challenge, interact with them, interface with them, try to know their problem, then deal with it.
And you think this administration of Alhaji Honorable Umar Abdullahi Abubakar is not doing that?
No, he's not doing anything near that.
But we've heard of town hall engagement.
Where?
In Abaji.
Who engaging with who?
Youth engagement, among others.
No, there are programs they claim youth empowerment, not youth engagement. You engage with which youth? Are we not youthful enough? As
you're a politician.
Of course, even if I'm a politician, these resources belong to all of us.
Okay.
Engage all of us. Discuss with us. Abaji leaders will tell you nobody is discussing with them. We too will tell you, we the youth will tell you nobody is engaging with us.
But you were accused of being an opposition.
Whether opposition or not, I told you, these resources belong to all of us. Okay. Once you are a leader for all. You are not a leader of a party.
Okay.
If you are to lead, then you lead all.
Okay.
When it is time for politics, then you play politics.
Okay. Now away from that, let's talk about the PDP and how ready is the party to winning this election.
And the election we have won already.
How do you mean?
We are just waiting for time. Abaji and the people of Abaji have rejected APC completely.
But we keep seeing the crowd.
We told you,
following the chairman.
I told you initially, these are, bootlickers. These are people
very strong.
No, there is not. You see, these are people that wants to draw some, little token from the chairman because they felt somebody is diverting their resources. So they shouldn't leave him with those resources alone.
That's a huge revelation.
Yes, however it is. This is why I didn't want to talk too much. But however it is, if you are in a position of leadership and you're not doing well, you see bootlickers everywhere. You see them coming to you. You see they will do a manner of things to take away those resources from you. And I want to assure you that APC has lost Abaji already because they don't have ground anymore. And that is why I try. Let me take you through their reconciliation process. They sent APC sent delegation from state.
Yes.
They came and attempted reconciliation between the two factions.
Two warring factions.
Yes, in the APC. They cannot agree with themselves. Of course, they refuse to agree.
But the chairman said in an interview that HTV carried that everything will be addressed and whoever is willing to be reconciled will be reconciled and whoever will be reconciled will be attended to equally.
From this statement, that is a power drunk statement. When somebody, let me finish.
But it appeared that he has made efforts to seek reconciliation that proved about him. That's what is
when you will seek reconciliation after 3 years.
Even before then.
No, even before then, that is when you are expected to seek reconciliation. As soon as you take over power, of course, there are faction of people that will be aggrieved. There are faction of people that are angry. Okay. Sit down with them, reconcile with them. All of you are party men and women. But these are people you made away with. You felt they are irrelevant. They are useless. You keep fighting. Something happened. Let me finish. Until after 3 years, you come back and say, okay, reconciliation committee should come and talk to their problems. Even when they came, there was no result. If you look at the report.
No. Moving forward.
Now that faction has gone to bring YPP. For your information, yes, that faction.
Is it a branch of
the large chunk, of population in APC left, and they now going to bring, they bring what is that, the YPP, the Young Progressive Party.
But other parties in Abaji, like the PDP, keep losing councillors to the APC.
Those councillors these are councillors.
These are grassroots representatives.
These are councillors that we personally brought to power. We brought them.
But they are representing.
You see, PDP has structure. I hope you understand.
Okay.
In PDP, we have structure. And we have what we call zoning arrangement.
Okay.
These are councillors that were produced through, zoning arrangement.
Whether capacity or no capacity.
They don't have any capacity.
Why would your party produce councillors without capacity?
When it is
simply because of zoning.
When it is your time in this zone, whoever you present to be your representative, of course, we cannot take away that.
It's thrown at the people to produce
someone.
Not imposed.
Thank you very much. So they produce those people, and in the party we accepted them. We granted them the ticket. Even one of them, was manipulated at the poll. We went to court for him, and we brought back his mandate. Okay. And even him too is part of those who said, look, we are defected. I told you that be careful if you're in power. If you're in power, everybody will look like they have submitted to you. That is not true. Everybody is coming to take his own share. And all these councillors who claim, yes, the Commonwealth. So these councillors that even defected, when we had a session with them, they said, look, we only went there because if you don't go there, of course, he will eat without you. And one of them said, look, I have integrity. I will not, stoop to so low to going to do things that will, affect my integrity in the future. I have children. But these ones that you are saying that have defected, yes, they have to defect because some of them will tell you, look, as a councillor, I'm even still struggling to feed. I was still supporting them.
As a councillor.
As a councillor.
All right. As you
some of them, so yes, to wrap it up. Some of them are even taxi drivers, even as councillors. As councillors.
How do you arrive at that?
I will know the system of governance because the councillors have not been given the free hand to operate as councillors.
But they are an independent arm of government.
They should be, but where the chairman has, amassed too much power to himself, and he has so reduced the legislative organ of government, the legislative arm of government to,
why can't they stand up for themselves?
Why should they? Do they have capacity? Is that what I told you? Is it not when you have capacity that you begin to strive for what rightfully belongs to you?
But they are independent.
They should be, but they are not.
Wow.
You see, independence borders on resources.
Okay.
If you are in charge of the Commonwealth, you are the only independent person. Because very many people would come, we call them bootlickers.
But we saw this in Abuja Municipal Area Council where some councillors moved to impeach or to suspend the then chairman.
These are councillors with swags. These are councillors with capacity, Mr. JT.
When you say capacity, I beg to disagree in this time. When you say capacity in Abuja Municipal Area Council and Abaji Area Council, they are being paid the same salary.
That is salary. We are not talking about monetary capacity. We are talking about people who know what they are doing.
Okay, intellectual capacity.
Like now, Mark Central. Somebody whose eyes is widely open and is exposed. The chairman will come and manipulate the person. These ones now that, you see, these ones that defected, if you look at their faces, you know they're hungry.
Okay, let's move forward as you round up. Your party, PDP, appears to still be struggling to find its bearing. How do you assure Nigerians that your party can win an election? Bearing in mind that the chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council just defected to the APC, giving instances, according to the Minister of the FCT, that he only advised him to defect because there is nobody to sign the nomination form.
Beautiful.
Now, currently, the battle as to who is the national secretary and this is, would I say, the front and back thing. So how ready is your party?
Front and back, how?
Who is your
It's a matter, of course, Senator Samanya.
But some governors do not agree.
There is no single governor who does not agree to that now after their meeting with INEC.
So currently,
all PDP correspondences is signed, side by side with the national chairman and the national secretary, which is Samaya, and even on INEC portal.
Are you assuring us that your party is well structured and prepared for the 2026 election?
We are good to go. We are very good to go. That is why we are not joining the coalition. Anyway, I wouldn't talk to the coalition because the leaders are already discussing.
Okay.
But I don't see us joining the coalition.
Okay.
Because we have a direction
to follow.
The people who are causing problems within the party are now beginning to find their way into the new coalition, whether ADA or ADC. Anyway, we saw them unveiling a party yesterday before ADC. That they are ADC. So even they will still go there, collect themselves and run away again.
Now, there is, lastly, before I let you go, there is this would I say, threat that even if you win elections, that has been a common language. Does that scare you?
Since our return to democracy. People in leadership positions will tell you, even if you win election, we will take it. We in fact will not allow it. You see, if you lose an election, you lost it. If you win an election, you win election. We have seen, Buhari win election with Jonathan at the pinnacle of power.
Does that have the courage?
And Buhari, not only that. Some of us know what we are doing. We have been to places who are very well exposed people. We are not those village, what do you call them? That somebody will just come and say, if you win election, I will take the power from you. How can you take power from me if I win election? We have watched Senator Egeti beat Senator Aduda in FCT, and nothing happened. We have watched leaders fall and leaders, emerge. So this has been a common, language, a common language used by
To intimidate opposition?
used by politicians, exactly, to intimidate oppositions, to make some people who are not well exposed to begin to think that we should not even go there and suffer, because even if we do, they will take it from us. We are telling our people, we are educating them, we are enlightening them. Nobody will take your mandate unless if you don't give those mandate. Once you give us those mandate,
Just watch and see what will happen. Alright. Thank you so much.
thank you so very much, Mr. Elia. Now you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
nice talking with you on Abuja today, showing on AGTV.
Thank you very much.
It's been Honorable Biliaminu Sokodabo,
Tefid
and Abaji.
The flag bearer of the PDP in Abaji Area Council ahead of the 2026 Area Council election. You've heard extensively a deliberation and a discussion as to what is obtainable in Abaji and even activities ahead of the election. We hope and wish you well.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's good
All right,
to see you.
that's a wrap for today. My name is Jethro Ilya.